How's it going, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Bochum Career Mode. This is episode number 22, and we start the episode with some unusual player conversation with Thomas Eisfeld. He's saying he's not getting enough game time. When we actually went and looked, he's pretty much started every game of the season, bar one, I think, and apart from in the cup games, he's started. So, not quite sure where he's coming from, saying he's not getting enough game time, as he's getting more than Thomas Kraft, Arsenal Janik, and even Robert Tescher and Gonvula sometimes. So I'm not sure where that is coming from. I think he probably needs to get off his high horse if he thinks he's deserving to start every single game. Every player deserves at least a break sometimes. So I'm sure it's just a bit of a glitch and he'll come back saying he's absolutely fine. But a bit of a weird conversation to be having with someone about game time when he started every game pretty much of the season. Heading into today's first game of the episode, it will be against Paderborn. Not in the league, it will be in the cup. This is the second round. We were hoping to not go on a cup run such as last year because that was pretty good. We got to the final, only losing to Bayern because they were Bayern Munich and they had the better team. But we were hoping to at least get into the third or fourth round this year. So going up against Paderborn, I was actually quite confident. We'd beaten them previously in the season, and we start off really well as Danilo breaks down the left-hand side, plays a beautiful ball in to Olkowski, who is our youth player. I believe he's 17 years old, something like that. The young Polish winger gets his first goal for the club on his first start properly. He'd come off the bench in a couple of games, but this was his first proper start, and what a way to start as he scores his first goal. Really nice goal as well, getting it between the keeper's legs. That wouldn't be Paderborn just sitting back for the rest of the game though, as shortly after, in the 10th minute, number 31 for them, Zielinski, goes ahead and equalises. It was a pretty short-lived lead as they go ahead and score. Pretty poor goalkeeper, and if you see from the second replay, Ryman actually gets a good hand to it. He was in the game over Kraft, as was giving him a rest in the cup game, and he's not really showing me he should be starting in the league anytime soon, as that should be a nice simple save for our former number one, as Kraft has pretty much taken up the number one spot. Luckily for us, Godin was starting and he broke down the right hand side. Lots of space for our right back, and Godin gets his first goal for the club. What a goal that is as well, as you can see from the replay. It is not quite top bins, but pretty much no goalkeeper stopping that. It's hit with so much power that there's no chance for anyone to stop that going in. And yeah, really poor defending from Paderborn, really. They should have been marking him, or at least following him up, and Godin just had enough pace to break away and stop the Paderborn defence catching him up. Chance here as Kone plays the ball over for Olkowski. He takes a touch and hits it, and I'm quite surprised he actually didn't at least get that on target, as he managed to take a touch on the ball and didn't really get a goal. I'm a bit surprised it wasn't at least on target from Olkowski, but I'm sure that's just a bit of experience. Imagine a couple of years' time he'll be scoring them for fun. But yeah, sadly, we did not go in 3 goals up, but only 2 goals, as we get a chance here with Kone. Nice ball roll around the defender, but the goalkeeper matched it with a decent save. And another good save from Ryman. Actually, to be fair to him in the second half and even in the first half, he made some good saves, but he just wasn't, and he was at fault for the first goal. I think he made up for it with the amount of saves he made in the first and second half. Olkowski does get an assist in this game, even though he missed the earlier chance there. He proved himself unselfish as he puts the ball in for Theo Baer there, getting his, I believe that's his 3rd or 4th goal this season. Our young Canadian striker doing pretty well, getting some decent goals. Obviously that was a pretty easy goal for him to score. He still had a little bit of work to do, but it was pretty much put on a plate from Olkowski. Another chance for a young Polish winger as he gets past. He hasn't got the best amount of pace, but just enough to get past the defender there, and he drags the shot wide. They're not really good enough from him. Nice little play here as he plays a 1-2 with Theo Baer, gets the ball back, and he probably should have put it back there. Nice dribbling from him though, and sadly probably deserved a goal there. Good save from the Paderborn goalkeeper. They would get one final chance here, Paderborn, to at least make it a respectable goal scoreline, as Mamba puts the ball in the back of the net there. Not much the goalkeeper Ryman could do there, as it was pretty well hit and hit with quite a lot of power there. And actually, to be honest, didn't look like Mamba was going to be able to get a shot off, and probably caught Ryman off guard there. But that would only be a consolation goal as we do go through, probably showing a little bit of a nicer scoreline for Paderborn's side, as they only really had a good couple of chances. Lots of shots, though, from the neutral perspective. It was a nice end-to-end game of football. I'd say that we deserved to edge it just because we had the better chances. From the highlights you saw, I pretty much put in all the good chances there were. There was a lot of long shots and that sort of thing from both sides, but I think we had the better chances and deserved to win the game overall. You can see from the press conference, Danilo actually picked up a little injury just towards the end of the game, which would rule him out for the game against Heidenheim, which was next. Only a bruised shoulder though, and he'd be out for 5 days. I have actually upped the injury threshold on the sliders just for us, as we weren't really getting enough injuries. I know that's not a bad thing, but realistically, you'd expect to get an injury every few games, just a knock or so. So I decided to up that just to, I think it was 65, possibly going up to 70, as I've seen a few other career mode YouTubers up that to around about the 65 to 70 mark. And I think I also put severity up to 55. Just because it is unrealistic to go through a whole season not lose one player to injury. And so far this season we've been injury free, which you might say is lucky, but I also would prefer just to have a little bit of I wouldn't want to cause problems for myself, but just to have a player have a 5 or 1 week injury, it'd be nice to have just for a little bit more realism's sake, I think. So I think that was a change we made in this game, possibly the previous game. I can't remember when I made that change, but just bear in mind that was a change I did make going into the next few games, and it will be there for the foreseeable future, unless we get ridiculous injury problems that we're getting injury, five injuries per game. I'll probably tone it down, but just for now we'll keep that as it is. Heading into the game against Heidenheim, I was aware that we conceded 2 in the previous game, and we were wanting to keep just a clean sheet if possible in this game. We did not start off pretty well though, as Heidenheim go ahead and win a penalty. Probably fair enough, to be honest. You can see my reaction. I couldn't believe it. Dekali giving away a penalty there. Probably not his fault really, but he was just leaning on him a little bit too much. And it's a soft penalty, but it is a penalty nonetheless. And Schattenerer, I don't know how to pronounce his name. That's how I hear the commentators pronounce it. That's how I'm going to say it. Then number 7, the captain, goes ahead and puts the ball in the back of the net. I don't show a replay of it. It's a good penalty, but it's just a penalty. And to be honest, he sends the keeper the wrong way. Not much else we can say about that. It wouldn't take us long, though, to equalise, as Shipnowski's play through. His pace is pretty good. It's a little bit better than Rossi when he plays on that right-hand side. And it's a nice goal from Shipnowski. No chance for the defender once he's got his run on, and you can see the Bochum fans freezing cold. They're all wearing their blue hats. It's a cold day out there. I'm surprised a lot of them made the journey to come and watch us on this cold away day. But Shipnowski goes ahead and makes it 1-1, and it was I think it's a fair scoreline at that point. We weren't exactly playing poorly, but I think overall, I think it was a bit of a nothing game. I think 0-0 would have been fair enough. There wasn't many chances in the first half up until about the 30th minute, and Gonvula breaks free here in the 35th minute. The balls of him to roll it past the goalkeeper there, and he even has the ability to finish it after he rolls it past him there. It's just the audacity to embarrass the keeper like that, rolls it past him and even finishes it. Very nice goal from Silver, and he makes it 8 goals this season in the league. And you can see from the halftime stats, overall, not a lot of chances, 50-50 pretty much on possession, and in terms of the chances, yeah, okay, we may be edging it, but to be honest, it was a bit of a nothing first half. There wasn't amazing chances apart from the goals, and the second half didn't start off so well for us. Poor defending from the ball put in, and I'm afraid I can't show you the replay, as the replay was just a shot of the top of the stadium, and that was it. So couldn't show you the replay of that, but it was just poor defending, and Biancardi gets his second goal of the season as he capitalises on us just sort of switching off from a ball whipped into our box. Luckily for us though, we would get another chance here as Gonvula picks the ball up, puts the ball into Bjordal. A little bit of luck there as it deflects off the Heidenheim defence, and Bjordal goes ahead and celebrates with the fans as he nets his second goal in, I think it's 2 games in the league. He scored in the last episode. Bjordal having a little bit of a better part of the season here. He didn't start off so well, no goals in a few games, but getting his second goal in quick succession really. in terms of how he started this season, and Bjordal actually ending the game pretty well. Luckily, we go ahead and get a last-minute winner in the 82nd minute there. Was it deserved? Probably. I think looking at the stats, yeah, I'd say we deserve it, but we were poor defensively in that game, and if we'd have just been a little bit better in the defensive duties and not conceded there, we wouldn't have needed Bjordal to score a last-minute winner. But so nonetheless, we go in and win the game. So can't really say much else other than that. At least we got the win, and we went into this game against Greuther Fürth hoping to pick up just a clean sheet or a better defensive display on our behalf, as we face a side that we've generally performed quite well against in the past. But they have also scored some goals against us, so I was a little bit wary. We were at home, so I was expecting us to pick up a point or two in this game. We did start off quite well, sadly hitting the crossbar there. A nice ball into Eisfeld, who sadly hits the crossbar, as I said. But it would be Fürth that would go in as the better team in this half, as Kinsombi gets the ball stricken well, and from the resulting corner, it's another ball hitting the bar. So 1-for-1 for both teams hitting the crossbar here, and pretty much it would be a Greuther Fürth half here, as they get a lot of chances here. A great ball played over the top here from Ernst, who was having a fantastic game, completely outfoxes Kim Jin-yar. Stefaniak then also just sends Kim Jin-yar down the pub. He's gone, no chance for him, and it's a ball whipped into Keita Ruel, who the number 10 dispatches very nicely, puts it into the back of the net, and leaves no chance for Thomas Kraft, who concedes a goal in this game. Kraft, I think, had conceded quite a lot of games at this point. Conceded in quite a lot of games at this point. My apologies. As you can see, not looking so good for us. One shot in that game, it was off target as well, as Fürth had come in with 6 goals, 3 on target in the first half, and it wasn't much better in the second half, as they started off the much better side. Stefaniak playing pretty much putting rings around our defence, and I did actually switch round. I put Kim Jin-yar in left back and brought on Godin, as Danilo just wasn't really playing well. He'd obviously come back from his injury in this game, but he just wasn't quite up to it. I'm not sure if it's just he was lacking a little bit of pace to play down that left-hand side, but Kim Jin-yar fault on the other side of the pitch there, as his header, he couldn't really head the ball, and Sebastian Ernst, something like that, goes ahead and puts the ball in the back of the net there and makes it 2-0 to Fürth. We do go ahead and get a chance here, hitting the post again. It's just unlucky really, but Fürth were definitely the team that were playing better, and Dino there just couldn't get his feet sorted to clear the ball, as they get another chance there from more defensive problems. And another defensive error here as the ball's whipped in. Kraft manages to somehow punch the ball away, but Bjordal heads the ball back into the box. Not sure why he wasn't heading it clear, as our Norwegian midfielder just not doing his defensive duties well enough there. And yeah, it was just poor from us. We get a chance here to at least maybe get a credible goal and possibly change the game, but we didn't. And Theo Baer, good save from the goalkeeper. Down the other end, Thomas Kraft will make another good save. He was the only person in this game really keeping it at a credible scoreline, and sadly, I just don't know what to say about that. My controller ran out of batteries as well, as just really, really bad defending. It was unlucky, as Kim Jin-yar, I was spamming the button to clear it, and you'll see from the replay, he gets tripped up by Thomas Kraft. It goes back to a Greuther Fürth player, and then it hits the bar from a follow-up shot from Fürth, and it rebounds off Thomas Kraft, and it heads back into the path of Hertoga. The Swedish player, just off the bench, scores pretty much an open goal. No chance for Thomas Kraft saving that. It was so unlucky. I just put my control down at that point. It was absolutely no chance of us saving this game. In the 84th minute, it would be 3-0 to Greuther Fürth. And sadly, that was all the game would be. 3-0 hammering at home, and the side from Nuremberg would go back there with a really, really good win for them, and just really poor display from us. As you can see, we got back in the second half with a couple more chances, but they were mainly long shots, and they were just much better. The much better side. And yeah, we need to be much better in the next episode, as I believe we even changed formation and got rid of a few players in the next episode as well for the next few games, because we just weren't good enough. Defensively this episode we've been poor. Attacking wise we've been okay, but we really need to look at our defensive duties and maybe work on them for the next game. But that will be all in this episode. Do hope you enjoyed watching. Do leave a like if you enjoyed, and don't forget to subscribe for more content in the future, and I will see you for the next episode of Career Mode very soon. So thank you for watching, and goodbye.